Hey everybody, it's Fabienne Fredrickson from clientattraction.com and the Client Attraction Business School, and I want to welcome you to this live stream. This is a 2-hour live stream, and I know that we have hundreds of people from all around the world who are here, and I just want to thank you so very much for your time and for spending the next couple of hours with me. I want you to take lots of notes because I will teach you the difference between an entrepreneur who's creating mediocre results or really small, slow results in their business, or somebody who just can't, get the business off the ground, and what I call advancing entrepreneurs. Advancing entrepreneurs being people who create results that frankly astound people around them and say, like, how are you able to do this in such a short period of time? And I'm also going to teach you not just the difference between them, but what it takes for you, wherever you are in your business. If you're just starting out, if it's just an idea, if you've been in it for 2 or 3 years and you want to get it to the next level, or if you've already got a multiple 6-figure business or 7-figure business and you want to multiply it. It doesn't matter what stage you're at in your business. You can very quickly, using what we talk about today, become that advancing entrepreneur that creates. In fact, I had a conversation with somebody today who's already doing well, and it's about really multiplying to the next level. So I'm going to share with you all of that. I have a great presentation and I want you to take lots of notes. And I will also talk to you about the Client Attraction Business School and what we have created that, frankly, has over the last couple of years transformed the industry of business coaching. And I'll explain to you where what the Client Attraction Business School is about, what makes it different from anything else that's out there, and why it produces such quick results, such astounding results for the students of the Client Attraction Business School. So before we get into that, and I'm also going to take your questions. You can send in Derek with by chat. They can send in.
Live chat.
Yep, and Derek is here with me, and he's smiling and waving, and he's going to be taking your questions so that you can ask me that. But basically, we're going to do a lot of really great things over the next 2 hours, and I am here for you. I'm here to give you what you need. And I want you to know that I created this live stream. We created this live stream because we know that some people, I call it the dance. There's this dance where there are some people who've been interested in working with me or within the Client Attraction Business School for years. People say, I've been following you since 2006 or 2010. And there's this dance of, I know I want to do this, but I just, I'm not sure, and tell me more and stuff like that. So there's no big surprise. I'm going to tell you about the Client Attraction Business School because I believe in 2 things. One, I believe in you. I know that when you have the right environment, you can do anything. When you have the right expert coaching, the right peer group, the right mindset, the right step-by-step process to get you more clients, make you more money, and multiply your business, you can do anything, right? You're built for it. Now it's time to go to that next level. So that's number one. And I believe very much in what we've created, the Client Attraction Business School. And when you put you and it together, it creates those results that frankly, most people would never be able to do on their own. And successful people recognize that sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and when you find out what you didn't know and you put it into place, it's amazing what happens. So I'm going to take you through that, and then I also want to introduce you to some students of the Client Attraction Business School, people who are living this message that I'm going to share with you today, who are advancing entrepreneurs and who at the very beginning, before they entered the Client Attraction Business School, frankly, were struggling or had no business. And what's happened over the last 12 months, 18 months, absolutely phenomenal. And the reason I want to introduce you to these guests is because I want you to see that if they can do it, so can you. And we have, hundreds and hundreds of people creating these types of results. And I want you to really be able to hear from their from their perspective, what it's like to become an entrepreneur, an advancing entrepreneur in a period of a few months. And so, Derek, have people said where they're from? I love hearing.
We've got people from Canada, Berlin, Germany.
Wow.
The UK, Ottawa, Canada, St. Louis.
I don't need to repeat this because they can hear you, right?
I
think they can. Yeah, Joe? Yeah. So you guys are all over the world. I'm so excited. I'm sending you lots of love. And I think I want to get started, Derek. Before I dive into this presentation, I want you to see this. This is a rock. This is a rock, and it has very special significance for me. One of the things that I teach in my seminars and to my students of the Client Attraction Business School is that I believe that you have a really big purpose here on this planet. I believe that you are here to make a difference in the lives of people who are contracted to work with you. And yes, I believe that people are contracted to work with you. And I want you to imagine that there's this silvery blue placid lake, and that it's dusk. You know, it's getting to be 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and there's just no movement on the water. It is peaceful as ever. And then I want you to imagine taking this rock and throwing it into the lake. What happens, right, when you throw this? You create a ripple effect. And that is what happens when you work with just one client. You create a ripple effect in their life. And what I mean by that is not only do you work with that client and you give them the results that helps them move to whatever the next level in their life or business or health or whatever it is that you do, finances, but you start to affect the other people around them. It creates a ripple effect. Their colleagues, their kids, their family, their friends start to, little by little, learn from them. And that's what happens to the lake and to that client when you just throw one rock or you work with one client. But imagine, and most people have around, I work with thousands of entrepreneurs each year. Most people have around 10 clients at a time. It might be different for you. You might have 100 customers. You may have only 2 clients, but that's the average. And so imagine throwing 10 rocks into the lake. What happens? You create bigger and bigger ripple effects, right? However, okay, so you might have heard me say this a minute ago. It looks like we're having not so great internet access, and we've been down a bunch of this morning, and it's basically what I teach my students. Sometimes you got the big breakdown before the big breakthrough. So the good news is with all of this stuff is that if we're having a technology breakdown, you are about to have a big breakthrough in your income. So you are in the perfect place. So Derek, should I go back and talk about the placid lake again?
Yeah.
So basically, if you heard this already, just stay with me. Let me give you an example of why this is a really good exercise for you to be a part of, right? Because I believe that entrepreneurship is a full contact sport. Do you agree? Sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes unexpected things happen. The difference between somebody who is a mediocre entrepreneur in the sense that they create mediocre results and those who are highly, highly successful is perseverance and faith. Faith that all will turn out. So this or something better, and just keep going, right? So that is the mark of an advancing entrepreneur. So right within the first few minutes, I'm already teaching you something with all these technology breakdowns that we're having. So getting back to the rock in the placid lake, this represents one client. And when you throw that rock into the placid lake, you create a ripple effect. And most people have about 10 clients in their client roster. So when they throw 10 rocks into the water, it creates a bigger ripple effect. But advancing entrepreneurs play even bigger than that. They play to have 100 clients or customers. What would happen to that lake if you had 1,000 clients or customers? I know this is like stretching you, but I want you to really hear this, because your potential here on this planet through your business is infinitely bigger than you see right now. You are here to really create a big impact, whatever it is that you're here to do. And this represents, and I hope that you will find a rock and your backyard, in your city, on your beach, whatever it is, and you keep it on your desk as a symbol of the kind of ripple effect that you can create if you play bigger. And so today I want to talk to you about securing your success and what it takes to be that advancing entrepreneur. And so the first question I want to share with you is, why were you called to be here today on this live stream? Why were you here with us? Why is it that thousands and thousands of people got this email, but you are here? And I believe that that is because you have a bigger future vision of who you are and what you are capable of. And so you know deep inside that you're not meant to play this really small game. Do you understand what I mean by that? I've always felt that about myself. And those that I attract tend to think that way too. And so what the way I look at it is that if you are here, it's because your soul is calling for expansion. There's a part of you that knows that you want to grow and that you need to grow, but up to this point you haven't known exactly how to do it. But there's this belief that even if it's just one little tiny inkling of you that says, I know I have it within me to play bigger. And that's what I call an advancing entrepreneur. The person who knows that they have a bigger future than their past. You meet some people sometimes whose biggest heyday is behind them. Well, that's not you. The advancing entrepreneur is somebody who knows that the best is yet to come. And so you're ready for progress, right? And in life, the training never stops. Progress is a combination of taking really big action and continuous forward motion. It's not about going back to the old way of doing things. It's about always going forward. And as I just said, the training in life never stops. I want you to write that down. The training in life never stops. So here's what I want to say to you is, if you want a really great life and if you want a really great business, you must invest in yourself. And I know you might not up to now have invested in yourself before. In fact, I had a conversation with a woman this week who is very successful, and she's been able to create what she's created by not investing in herself. But she's at this point that what took her to where she is today is not what's going to take her to the next level. And so if you want this really great life, you must invest in yourself. This is one of the things that advancing entrepreneurs know. You must invest of your time, of your energy, of your effort, and your financial resources, right? Because when you do, when you invest in yourself, you start learning from other people. You start, if perhaps you've read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. He talks in the book about the fact that mastery is achieved when you have spent 10,000 hours doing something very specific. And so you can actually look to the masters and borrow their 10,000 hours so you don't reinvent the wheel, and by working with them and by learning what they already know. And what I believe is that you are your greatest investment. See, I heard someone talk the other day about how learning from someone is a cost. And I thought, no, they're not thinking about it right. See, a cost is when you go buy, let's say, an ice cream, and the minute you consume it, it's gone. That's a cost. When you invest in yourself, you invest financial resources in your knowledge, in your skills, in upping your abilities, in discovering what you don't know that you don't know. That's not a cost. It's an investment, right? Because that learning, that knowledge, that advancement stays with you for the rest of your life, for the rest of your career. And some people say, Fabienne, how have you and Derek and the team been able to continually move farther and farther in, this is the third year in a row that we've been listed on the Inc. magazine list of America's fastest growing companies. There's a reason for that. It's not just that we're lucky, is we keep investing in ourselves, learning and borrowing 10,000 hours from people, and it produces better and better results. So you are your greatest investment, and you keep getting bigger and bigger, and you keep this, right? And I believe that each of us is meant for something really great. I believe it because I'm a spiritual person, and I understand that your creator, created you, and apple trees do not make oranges. Apple trees make apples. And so you are meant to do something great because you mirror your creator. However, when most people are left to their own devices, very few actually reach their potential. I know, it's kind of hard to say. It's harsh to say. But when left to their own devices, most people never reach their potential. It's because without the guidance, without support, without accountability, it's really difficult to play bigger consistently, right? You probably have experienced that. When you don't have guidance, it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. You don't know what's going on, right? The reason it's difficult is because there are so many obstacles in entrepreneurship. I just said a few moments ago that entrepreneurship is a full contact sport, right? There will be obstacles. There will be doors that you open and you're looking at a brick wall and saying, what happened? What is this? Helen Keller said that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And I don't know about you, but when I'm around other people, other advancing entrepreneurs, I perform better. I produce more. I think my mindset is even better, and I create better results. When you are given best practices, that is the fuel. The best practices is the fuel that allows common people like me, like you, like everybody else, just normal folks, to create extraordinary results, uncommon results, right? Best practices, borrowing from somebody else, learning. This is why we go to school, but a lot of times school doesn't provide us entrepreneurs exactly what we need, right? And the power of accountability is what creates big breakthroughs. Because when left to your own devices, not everything always gets done. And so I want to talk to you about the law of association. The law of association states that who you associate with shapes who you are. Now I want you to think about that. If your peer group is it's a gang, right? And they expect you to hurt someone, those are the expectations of your peer group. If you want to be part of that group, you're going to go hurt someone. If, on the other hand, your peer group and who you associate with has high expectations of you creating really great results and following through and all of that, that shapes who you are. The law of association also states that who you listen to and who you take advice from dictates your income. I want you to write that down right now. Who you listen to and who you take advice from dictates your income. And you've heard that saying about your income is in direct proportion to the average income of the 5 closest people, the people you spend the most time with. This is really important if you'd like to make more money, because if you're not making a lot of money right now, your current peer group is probably not making a lot of money either. So this is where you want to really take advice from and listen to people who already are making good money. The law of association also states that who you spend your time with is who you quickly become. So, what do you want to become? Find somebody who's already living that and spend time with them. This makes sense, right? Now, this doesn't mean I don't want to put fear in you, like, oh my gosh, I have to ditch all my friends and family. I'm not saying that. I know that that's difficult and it's not what you want. But it means add some new people to the mix. Add some new people to your environment that you can listen to. People who think positively about their future and about your future, right? They believe not just in their own bigger future, but in yours as well. They believe in your capability to create big things. And that's a different mindset. And everybody out there in the what I call the muggle world, right? Out there, they don't think like that. People who have the best practices that you need. This is who you want to surround yourself with. People who've already done it, made all the mistakes, and then they show you exactly what to do, and they avoid you lots of extra expense, lots of wasted time and wasted effort and frustration, right? So you want to surround yourself with people who have best practices that you need. People with an abundance mindset. What that is. An abundance mindset, somebody who, like I said, thinks positively, who believes in the fact that money is good and money creates good things. You can't really shift the world very quickly without money. And I personally would rather surround myself with people who are abundance minded rather than lack and whiny and skeptical minded, right? Just made that term up, but right? Who do you want to surround yourself with? People with the same values about growth that you have. There are some people who don't want to grow, and they don't want you to grow, because if you grow, they fear that you might leave them behind. But if you surround yourself with people who are growth minded, they will spur you to grow too. People who are already where you want to be. That really creates different results. And what you achieve in your life and in your business is in direct correlation to the expectations of your mentors and your peer group. I want you to really get this, is what you are able to create in your life is directly correlated to what your mentors and your peer groups and your friends and your colleagues expect of you. There's a big difference. It's something that very few people talk about in entrepreneurship. And so my question to you is, what does your current peer group talk about and complain about? I just want you to write it down. Nobody's going to see it, right? What does your current peer group talk about and complain about? What does your current peer group let you get away with? Procrastination, not charging enough, not playing bigger, really keeping yourself too small. What do they let you get away with? See, I believe that environment is everything. Okay? When I was a holistic, health counselor, a health coach many, many years ago, over 10 years ago, I got really clear that if I wanted to eat more whole grains and more green vegetables and, more and less sugar and less everything, for me, and I realized with, my hundreds of clients at the time, that environment is everything. So if you want to eat clean food and you've got yodels and ding dongs and Cheetos, what are all those things? Cheetos, Doritos, Fritos, anything with O's, SpaghettiOs, Oreos. If you've got those things in your cupboards and in your refrigerator, and that is your environment, how are you really going to get excited about steaming some Swiss chard, right? It's not going to seem as exciting. And it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. Your success is dependent, write this down, my success is dependent upon my environment, right? So, structured peer environments spark their members to achieve a higher level of accountability. Right? You will produce more when you have a structured environment of peers who expect you to be accountable to your word and to do the things that you said you were going to do. Right? It's kind of the whole concept of, working, like, let's say if we're going back to the food analogy, right, of Weight Watchers or something like that. That's that community. That higher results come from higher accountability. And the right mentorship helps you turn years into months and months into days, right? So if you want quicker results in your business and in your life, if you want to do things faster, then all you have to do is get the right mentorship. It makes all the difference. The right mentorship allows you to accomplish so much more than you ever would on your own. It makes all the difference. And when you're left to your own devices, it's very difficult to, if you've never done it before, you don't know what to do next until somebody tells you exactly what to do. The right mentorship also gives you step by step by step by step guidance that you normally would not have access to. Right? Imagine, you know what it's like to just be in your office, likely your home office, and wondering, okay, should I do this or should I do this? Bright shiny object, other bright shiny object. You know what I mean. And imagine that somebody said, no, don't do any of these things. First you do this, then you do this, then you do this. And that not only do they tell you what to do and why it's important, but they show you exactly how to do it. How would that make a difference in how you implement the marketing of your business, the growth, the systems that you need? It would make a massive difference. And the right mentorship pays for itself in the form of new clients, in the form of bigger opportunities, in the form of saving time, not wasting it on things that wouldn't get. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who work on things that are not money generating activities, and they wonder where the money is. Well, that's why the right mentorship pays for itself, because you make so much more money than you ever would on your own. And unconditional support helps you create uncommon results. If you're anything like a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, not everybody around you, not everybody is like, yay, we believe in you, we support you. A lot of people around each entrepreneur say, hey, why are you doing this? When are you going to get a real job? Right? Or perhaps your spouse or your friends or your family just say, this is crazy. Why are you doing this? Why don't you go back to getting a secure job working in a cubicle for somebody else who can really let you go at any moment's notice, where you have no control, right? Unconditional support, when an entrepreneur has that and has people who believe when you have that and people believe in you, you create results. Like, you have the confidence to do so much more than you ever would on your own. And it's the accountability of that peer group that keeps you moving forward, knowing that you said you were going to do something and they're going to expect you to do it. It keeps you moving forward. This is what advancing entrepreneurs know. And then there is something really good about an unspoken, healthy sense of competition. Meaning, if you said, I want to see you in 90 days, or I'm going to talk to you tomorrow on the phone, and I told you I was going to get it done, you don't want to show up saying, nope, I didn't do anything. You want to show up saying, not only did I do that, but I also did this, this, and this, and have other people celebrate you for it. Here's what happens when you're poorly supported. And you might know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're poorly supported, there's no expert coaching and there's no best practices and there's just a lot of guessing, right? When you're poorly supported, there's no accountability and there's no peer support, encouragement. When you're poorly supported in your business, there's no skin in the game. There's not like a commitment because, well, okay, I guess it wasn't meant to be. But if you've got skin in the game and you've made that kind of commitment financially, you're gonna get the work done, right? And finally, when you're poorly supported, you're by yourself. There's no encouragement. I don't know about you, but I need a lot of encouragement in my life. I'm just going to be vulnerable about that. You probably do too. We entrepreneurs need encouragement. We need people to believe in us, because when we do, we're more confident. And confidence, write this down, confidence affects every single aspect of your business. I want you to think about that. Confidence affects how much you charge, whether you're going to go out there and network or not. It affects speaking on stage. It affects your closing the sale. It affects how you market. It affects how you reach out to joint ventures and strategic alliances, centers of influence. It affects everything, right? So if you don't have a lot of encouragement in your life, it affects your confidence, and you're just not going to make as much money. But if you do have it, it changes everything. So how do I know all this? Well, it's because I tried a do-it-yourself method, the DIY method. I realized for many years that, I thought that I could do it on my own. I thought that I could read a book or watch what somebody else is doing. It's not until I realized that if you do it yourself and you create these fake little mastermind groups, or you associate with people who don't know what they're doing, you're not going to go really, really far, because there's not all of this stuff that we just talked about. Something you probably know but have not verbalized is that entrepreneurs are some of the the most overwhelmed people on the planet. Right? Aren't you overwhelmed? Should I do a podcast? Should I do a telesummit? Should I do a live stream like what she's doing now? Or should I network? Should I speak? But do I get paid? Do I not get paid? There's so much to do, right? Entrepreneurs are very overwhelmed people. It's because you don't know what you don't know about what's going to work. When you know what to do, you happily do it. When you don't know what you don't know is going to work, it kind of you freeze. You don't do very much, right? Entrepreneurs are also some of the loneliest people on the planet. It's because people don't get us. They don't understand us. We had dinner with friends the other night, and I wanted to say this is what I've done, and this is what I've done, and this is what I've done, but I kind of hold back because I don't, want to completely overshadow them. A lot of our friends and family don't really get us. Why would we do our own thing? Why can't we just go get, a paycheck? And we're working behind our computers, hiding behind the computer. And it can be very lonely. And you crave, as an entrepreneur, you crave that camaraderie that you don't have, because you don't have that, the water cooler conversations and the coffee pot conversations that you had if you were in a corporate job. That's one of the very first things that I missed when I opened up my business. I literally missed, getting in at 9 o'clock, getting my coffee, plopping down in somebody's chair in their cubicle and say, how did your date go on Saturday, right? We don't have that as entrepreneurs. So the question is, when is an entrepreneur the most productive and confident? The answer is when we are shown exactly what to do and how to do it. When we have structure and accountability, right? When we are regularly spending time with other advancing entrepreneurs, and it's not the blind leading the blind. Now, what exactly, Derek, does anybody have any questions before I keep going? Were there questions that were sent in? Are they getting good stuff?
They're getting great stuff. I think they're really engaged and watching, so not many questions yet.
Okay, great. So what is an advancing entrepreneur? I want to really break it down for you. Advancing entrepreneurs do not reinvent the wheel. They do not try to figure it out on their own. They know that their time is best spent learning from people who've already figured it out, right? They don't reinvent the wheel. They learn best practices from those who've already mastered it. It's like, who's got what I want? Great, I'm gonna learn everything from them. That's what an advancing entrepreneur does. Advancing entrepreneurs continually invest in themselves. They recognize that they are their greatest investment. Advancing entrepreneurs surround themselves with other advancing entrepreneurs. Very important. And they are willing to do whatever it takes. They are willing to take chances when other people won't. That is an advancing entrepreneur. Say, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that chance because I'm going to bet on myself. Advancing entrepreneurs borrow other people's mastery to shorten their own learning curve, right? We just mentioned that. It's like, okay, you have that? Great, let me borrow that. And within a period of days or weeks or months or a year, they learn what somebody else has learned and mastered over a 10-year or more period. That is the mark of an advancing entrepreneur. And they model already successful people. They say, who's doing it? Great, I'm gonna model that. And they're not too cool for school, right? They believe in continuous learning. I believe in continuous learning. I will never stop learning. In fact, I heard someone say, not too long ago, if you stop learning, you die. If you stop growing, you die. That's kind of nature. That's how nature works. If you stop growing, you disintegrate. And it's the same thing with entrepreneurs. Advancing entrepreneurs seek out systems that already work, right? They're not going to recreate the system if somebody's already done it and they can borrow it. They don't rest on their laurels because advancement is key for them. Advancement is key. And they always ask themselves, what's next? They don't just say, okay, like I think there's a Carrie Fisher quote that says, okay, well, I'm successful now, I might as well take a nap. No, advancing entrepreneurs don't think that way. They celebrate their successes and they say, what's next? And so you might be asking yourself, what is my next move? What is my next level? What is the thing that I'm required to do next to live out my full potential? To really live into my life's purpose in creating something really big. And so over the years, people always saying, Fabienne, I would like to work with you. And they're always saying, what are the different ways that I can work with you? Well, today I want to talk to you about the client. I have more content to share with you today and lots more good stuff. But right now, I want to introduce you to the Client Attraction Business School. Here's what happened. Over the last couple of years, I surveyed the landscape of business coaching. As you know, I started clientattraction.com close to 13 years ago. And I was doing business coaching at the time, and it's evolved. And I really took a hard look in the last couple of years of what's going on in the world of business coaching. And what I realized is that business coaching is not providing the needs of the advancing entrepreneur. Standard business coaching isn't. And I know this is hard for some people to hear, but I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm on your side. I'm in the trenches with you. I know this because I've lived it. I've been looking, for business coaches to give me exactly what I need, and a lot of times it hasn't been there. And so standard business coaching is not meeting the needs of entrepreneurs, advancing entrepreneurs. Because as an advancing entrepreneur, you want to avoid confusion and you only want to do things that produces results. And here's what I know, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm just going to tell you the truth about what I've noticed because, as I said, I'm on your side. There are a lot of business coaches out there who have never been successful. And yet they're teaching people how to be successful, and they don't have the best practices. They're teaching from a book, or they're teaching from a course, or what they heard somebody say. Okay, are you still with me? True. And a lot of the business coaching, the way it's being taught, is to say to the client, well, what do you think you should do to get more clients and make more money? I don't know about you, but as an advancing entrepreneur, I don't want to be asked that question. I want to be told what to do, right? Like, saves a lot of time. And so just like what I said, you want to be shown exactly what to do, and not just what to do, but how to do it. Here's an example. Here's the exact hiring process. Here's exactly how you close the sale. In fact, here's a laminated script. Here is your marketing pie, where each slice of the pie is something that you do to get clients. You want to be shown exactly how to do it. Oh, that's how you do it? Okay, I'm just going to model that, right? That's how advancing entrepreneurs do it, and that's how you do it. Right? It's the exactly how. So you're not doing this whole loop-de-loop. You just say, okay, A to B. I don't need to go to C, D, whatever. Just know how to do it. You want, what I know about you, if you're an advancing entrepreneur, is that you want proven strategies that are laid out for you in a step-by-step way. Right? You've figured out a lot on your own already by virtue of being an entrepreneur. You've had a lot of courage. You've had it's been hard work to get there. But now you're looking for, tell me what to do next, and give it to me laid out in a step-by-step plan. Can you imagine how exciting it is for somebody to show you exactly how to do something that you've been racking your brain to think, how do I do that? Who's got that for me? And what happens is when you have all this step-by-step guidance, you're able to take such faster action. For me, in the past, when I've worked with people and they say, this is exactly how you do it, feel free to model it, bam, it's implemented within a day or two, if not an hour or two. Why? Because you don't have to think about it. It's just like, okay, I'm just going to do that. Advancing entrepreneurs sometimes feel really isolated and misunderstood, right? Just like I said, people just don't get us. And to thrive, you need an environment where you can be really you. Like your most authentic self, where you can be vulnerable, where you can be celebrated, and where if you need to, you can have a soft place to land and not be judged, right? Where you can just be you. And, it's funny because if you're having a bad day, you don't want to tell your clients. You certainly, if you're having a bad day, you don't want to tell your vendors. You don't want to tell your referral partners. You sometimes don't want to tell your spouse or your family members or your friends. And so you need a place where you can be authentically you and just kind of celebrate. Imagine ringing your neighbor's doorbell and saying, guess what? I made another $80,000 this month. Imagine what they would say. Like, why are you telling me that? But when you have an environment in which people celebrate you and say, yes, I knew you could do it, and they get inspired by you making that kind of money or that kind of progress, and then you get inspired, and when they do, this is where you thrive. This is where the vibration is really high. What we call it in the Client Attraction Business School, we call it the vortex, the Client Attraction vortex, where when somebody's doing well, it's like the tide that raises all the boats. So you need a community that champions you, where you don't feel bad for doing well because they're clapping, they're cheering, they swoop down and they, woohoo, right? And in a community that keeps you in the vortex. And I call it the vortex because at first I used to joke many years ago. We used to joke about how every time clients would come in and they'd be with us in a room for 2 days, and because we were doing such great work and really supportive and a supportive community, people would be, I'd say, coming back from a break, lunch break or something. So what's new and good? And people would say, I got a new client, just got a new email with a book. They accepted my book proposal. I just got a phone call and I've been asked to speak at a gig and they're paying me. And I just got a check for $10,000. And we used to, I used to joke around and say, oh, that's because you're in the client attraction vortex. And then I actually found out there is such a thing as a vortex where when you are with people, a community of people who are striving for the same thing and who stay in a very positive way and they're being taught what to do and they're you can actually measure this on I think it's a megahertz scale, Derek, I don't remember, but you can measure the frequency of the, so let's go, like I said, big breakthroughs in income are going to happen for you because we're in the breakdown before the big breakthrough, which is what I teach at my mindset retreat. So this vortex matters, right? And when you're in this community of people and you regularly dip into the client attraction vortex because of the high vibration, because of the support, because of the love, because of this unconditional camaraderie of people believing in you, you get so much more confidence, and it raises your energy level. Not energy as in physical energy, but vibrational law of attraction-y energy, and good things come to you every time. And so we've noticed that over the years, and now we realize, oh my gosh, there is such a thing as the client attraction vortex. And so you are also likely someone who gets sidetracked with bright, shiny objects, right? We have this joke in the client attraction business school. It's like, squirrel, squirrel. You know, you start something and right? And if you're like me, you thrive when you have structure, when you have accountability, when you have regular check-ins with a coach. That's how I thrive. And you probably are like that too. And access to that coach, you thrive because it helps you stay on track and it helps you produce faster. You're not on your own, you're getting guidance on a very regular basis. And having that step-by-step guidance and best practices, when you are taught how to do that, it just leads to faster results every time. This happens with every entrepreneur. There's not an advancing entrepreneur that does not get better results when they're given step-by-step guidance and best practices. It's a universal thing. And having that supportive community and the accountability leads to you having that confidence that is absolutely crucial to get you to the next level. And that is when you achieve so much more than you ever would on your own, when you have all of those pieces. Now, that's business coaching. I also looked at the landscape of traditional business school. And what I realized is traditional business school does not provide this. In fact, I have clients of mine, students in the Client Attraction Business School, who said this, what we're providing is revolutionary, because they went the 2-4 years to get that higher education, that very expensive business school degree, and they got out and they still didn't know how to get clients. They still didn't know what to charge. They still didn't know how to network and speak and things like that. And I believe, and I did not go to traditional business school, so I caveat that. But what I hear from everyone who's an entrepreneur, is that traditional business schools are not meant for people like you and me. They're not meant for entrepreneurs. They're meant for people who want to be, lots of other things, but not for what we need. And so traditional business schools don't give you the accountability. They don't give you the coaching. They don't give you the best practices from somebody who's actually been there and done it. It's a lot of textbook stuff. And besides, other business schools cost upwards of $40,000 per year. And that's without the coaching, without the accountability, without the support, without the community. I mean, imagine you're spending that a year and you're not getting any of that. And you still walk out and you don't know how to get clients. How's that going to work? And this is why we created the Client Attraction Business School. And the Client Attraction Business School is a combination of business school, curriculum, really step-by-step process, and also the coaching. And it's created, the Client Attraction Business School was created for how you are wired as an advancing entrepreneur. Now, who is it for? Well, the Client Attraction Business School is for advancing entrepreneurs, but there are 3 different types. And so what I want you to do is, on this page, there is a video, and I want you to watch it, not right now, but right after this live stream, to figure out which track within the Client Attraction Business School you belong to. And the reason why is there is a different track for what level of what life stage of your business you're in. Because if you're ramping up your business and you're really in a growth mode, getting more clients, making more money, then you need to know how to get more clients and make more money. If, however, you're already making a lot of good money, but you don't have, you're working hours for dollars, and you don't have any time because you have too many clients, you need a totally different curriculum based on leverage, right? Leveraging your time, your systems, your team, your knowledge, your technology, your business models, all of that. So there's different tracks in the Client Attraction Business School based on that. And so once you watch that, you'll know what you need most. So it's a 2 to 3 minute video. Now, I want to take you through what, Derek, there's a link for this this packet. So this is a description of the Client Attraction Business School. This is your special invitation, and then I'm going to take you through this for a minute or two, and then we're going to do what? Take some questions or bring in the guests? Okay, great. So below, I presume there's a link with a description of the Client Attraction Business School, and there's just everything laid out so you understand exactly how it works. Now listen, if this speaks to you, great. Join us. Go look at all this. If it doesn't speak to you and you're just here for the content, great. I'm not attached to you being there. I know that we have the solution to you getting more clients and making more money and multiplying your business. And this will describe it. Either way, I want you to read it because I want you to see in these pages, you'll actually see who you are, what your issues tend to be, and what you need most right now. So let's say that you find yourself to be Ramp Up Rachel or Ramp Up Rob by looking at, like, you could say, oh, that's me. Then right here, you'll see exactly what you need most and what the business school growth track details are. And then everything that you get, and you'll also see some success stories from business school growth track clients. Really inspiring stuff, right? I want you to read all of this and see how the growth track is laid out in the business school. And then you'll see that if you are already, been in your business for a few years and you're at a different level, there's the leverage track for if you're leverage Lucy or leverage Larry. And again, you can read who you are, what your issues tend to be, and what you need most right now, along with the details of the leverage program, which is the second track, the leverage track. And then of course, success stories from, we have hundreds of success stories. You can also go online and just look at some of the videos, but people who've gone from being a total startup to within a year moving up to the leverage track, from the growth to the leverage. Some people even doing that, going from making probably $30,000 in their business the first year to year two, making upwards of $220,000, and year three, $800,000. So you'll read all of that below. So that's the description of the different tracks of the business school. And you might have lots of questions that, perhaps we'll answer some of them today, and perhaps you'll just read, there's an FAQ, right? Some questions that you might be having. I'm not sure which track is best for me. Can you help me decide? That gets answered here. And which profile do I belong to? And what if I'm in another coaching program? And can I bring my spouse? And all of that stuff. So this is all detailed right here in the FAQ. You're definitely going to want to read this because we've been doing this for a few years now. We've basically answered just about every question that you have. And Derek, do they have the dates of the next growth track meetings, and the dates of the leverage meetings, and the next 3-day workshop, which is monetize your message? These are all in this packet as well. And then what else is there? Oh, the most important part. Derek gave me a look like, well, you're forgetting the application. There's a confidential application in here. And I want to read you this quote by this very wise woman that you and I might know. It's successful people take decisive action. They don't overthink everything. Rather, they trust their gut. And when they are presented with an opportunity that answers their greatest challenge, they say yes to it immediately, knowing that it is divinely given. They don't hesitate. They don't delay. They know that because the opportunity was presented, it was meant to be. This is the one universal characteristic that makes them successful and helps them create results that astound all others around them. That is an advancing entrepreneur. And so in the confidential application, which is really confidential, I read it, you basically look at, who am I? You answer some questions. Now, whether you're ready to join us or not, I want you to fill this out. And this is what we did at the Mindset Retreat. It was an assignment for the students to fill out the application. Why? Because it's actually a gap analysis, meaning where am I now in my business and where do I want to be? What are my 3 biggest obstacles? What am I currently doing to market my business? And what I want to create in the next 12 months. And it has you get really clear about where you are and where you need to be and what you need to do to get there. And if you're interested in joining us, and I would recommend that you strongly consider it and take action. Because the minute you do is the minute that the universe rearranges itself to get you to that next level. So send it in completely if you're interested in joining us in the Client Attraction Business School. The next meetings are right around the corner. So for example, for the growth track, yes.
They actually don't have that on the
They don't
page,
have that?
but Liz is going to add it. To
Okay,
the
Liz will add this to you, but the next growth track meeting for the Ramp Up Rachel and Ramp Up Rob is October 15th and 16th. So this is happening in next week. But basically, we're back on? Yeah. Well, basically, the next dates are around the corner. Now, you can join us in the growth track as early as next week, or our next meeting after that is in February, which gives you time to start the curriculum and all that good stuff. And the next leverage track meeting starts in November, so there's plenty of time for you to get prepared for that. Now, some people say, Fabienne, when can I start? And I say, well, basically, you can start at any time. However, I believe in not unnecessarily delaying results that you want now. So I have a bonus gift for you today. And if you join us as a result of being on this live stream, and Derek, how many days within the next week? 7 days?
Sure.
The next 7 days so what's today? Friday? By next Friday, if you join us, you, as a bonus, as a thank you, will receive a full additional day with me called the 2014 Strategic Planning Day. And it's happening, Derek, in January in Stamford, Connecticut, just outside New York City at the Stamford Yacht Club. And it's for all new Client Attraction Business School students who sign up from this live stream. And basically for a full day, I pay for everything, like the breakfast, the lunch, we're on the water. All you have to do is just get yourself there, and we're gonna map out your entire 2014. And we've done this once before, and it was incredibly powerful. And that is my gift to you for saying, hey, Fabienne, I believe in my future, I believe in my potential, and I want to get started now within the Client Attraction Business School. So, take a few days to think about it if you need to, but I'm actually going to take note of which applications get sent in first, because to me, those are the people who are decisive. They are the ones who are the most eager, and I will pay a lot of attention to those people. So if you know that you want this, download the brochure, download the application, fill it out completely, and send it in. And that's how we'll go. And I just want to say one thing, that if you live all the way across the globe and you're going to read this in the FAQ and things like this, and you want to join us, you can join us. We live stream every growth track meeting. Meaning, if you are, let's say right now, all the way around the globe, how you're viewing us now, although with better internet, because we do it, at a venue, a big, hotel space, you will be able to be live with us and send in questions and be with the other folks and all of that. So there is that option where if you simply cannot get on a plane, you can still be with us. So that is that. And I think it would be really important for you to meet some of our students of the Client Attraction Business School, to hear from them what it's like to be part of the vortex, the business school, what it's like to get step-by-step guidance and the support of this environment and community and all of that. So Derek, is this now a good time to bring them in?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Any questions before that, or
we'll
do it after?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to thank you for being so patient around this internet breakdown. And what it says to me about you is that you are somebody who perseveres, and you are somebody who is willing to just be in it and go with the flow and with the bumps. And that's what great entrepreneurship does. Hi, guys. Hi, come on in.
Hi.
Hi. How we do this? I move this? Do you want to give me a red chair?
All right.
Have you guys been able to hear anything through the walls, or
A little
not
bit.
really? Little bit.
bit.
Little bit. We're gonna get real tight and cozy.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to put you right there. Do I need to move this mic, Derek?
No?
No? Right there? What do you think? Superstar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
How's
is
it
fun.
feel? Hi,
Great.
guys.
Hi.
Hi. High five. High five. So you are here. We got to get real close.
There we go.
Like, we got to pretend we're
There
really
we
like
go.
each you guys are here, and I just want to say thank you so very much for coming. It's so great for me to know that they are going to hear what it's like to be part of this, and to hear your story of where you were before and what's transpired and all the amazing stuff and what you like about it. So before we get started, Danielle, why don't you introduce yourself and your business and give them your website and all that so they know how to reach you.
Okay. I'm Danielle O'Terry. My website is feastonhistory.com. I'm a writer and art historian, and what I do is I curate historically inspired food and wine events.
She's awesome. Right? Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's the
thanks,
camera
Derek.
right there.
Hi.
Yes. and Christian.
Hi, everybody. Christian Galliani of wineforthe99.com. And I am basically a wine consultant and a personal sommelier.
How awesome is that? And wine for the 99 is, what is the 99? Explain to them.
Well, wine for the 99 means basically that wine is for everyone, or the 99%.
Yes.
Where you don't have to be very affluent, you don't have to have a lot of money or a lot of wine expertise to be able to enjoy it. So I democratize wine and make it easy for people.
How awesome is that, right? So two different types of businesses. And Danielle, you've been part of the Client Attraction Business School. This is your second year.
Yep.
And many
Accelerator.
people stay for several years because they just keep moving up. We have different tracks. So you're in your second year in the accelerator track, which is not listed here, but basically it's what you do after year one as you created new results. So tell us a little bit about what it was like before you joined the Client Attraction Business School.
Before, I was still in a full-time job at a museum. I was doing a lot of stuff on the side, and I joined with the goal of bringing the stuff that was on the side to the center of the plate.
Yeah, and a lot of people who are watching you right now feel like they have a burning passion, and yet they're stuck doing something else, but they know that if they could just have the how-to to bring it from the side to being their main dish.
Yeah. And I had lots of, through my work I did a lot of marketing and PR stuff, but I didn't have the steps. It was all sort of buckshot. I didn't have a clear path. So I joined.
Why did you join the Client Attraction Business School?
Because I knew
For
that
you.
if I stayed in that job, I was going to die inside.
I'm gonna
Not
cry.
kidding. I knew I had to do something, and I said to him, I said, so I'm either going to get a new job or I'm going to join this coaching program. And I kind of said I'm going to get the new job just to give an option, even though it was kind of a fake option.
Yeah,
And
because that would have just been murder too, or not murder,
Yeah.
but hurtful for you.
yeah. I knew I had to get out of there one way or the other. So I was just, entertaining that thought, but I knew that I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So
So you enter into the growth track of the Client Attraction Business School, and you start getting this curriculum, you start meeting these people, you start coming to the meetings. What was that like?
the very first meeting, because I didn't join at Mindset or or any of the other events. I just joined from watching a live stream, I think.
Yeah, good. You should pay attention.
I think if maybe the first half day I was a little freaked out, everybody's so happy and helpful, and this is weirding me out. I'm from New York. What's
What are they drinking?
But I slowly, actually not even slowly, I pretty quickly got into it. And for me, the biggest asset of this has been the community.
Yeah.
I remember Derek saying that being in finance, you're surrounded by advancing people, but they're people that are advancing in their income. I was in academia, I was around people that were very smart, very well traveled, but not necessarily people that were advancing in this way. So.
And what's that done for you to have this community of people who are just your biggest supporters?
It's astounding. It's amazing how many people are in my life now that were not in my life, and I don't know where I would have met them otherwise a year and a half ago. And they just bring gifts all the time. There's somebody to help me with my finances. There's someone to help me with my PR. There's someone to, sometimes I say, okay, I'm having a bad day. I need to be coached off a ledge. I can go on that Facebook page and someone's like, okay.
Yeah, you'll go in. So one of the things that you'll see in the FAQ and the description is the minute that you need something, you have a built-in board of advisors that is varied. Lots and lots of people who are other advancing entrepreneurs who have resources that you do not have. So in addition to the curriculum and the modules on how to get clients, how to make more money, how to multiply your business, from me, from Derek, from the team, in addition to having your own coach, which I didn't even tell you, but you get your own coach. Depending on the track that you're in, you have your own client attraction expert coach, or you have access to me and Derek on a weekly basis if you're in the leverage track. In addition to that, in addition to the curriculum, in addition to the meetings, if you have a question, any time of day, any time of night, you go onto the Facebook group, you say, guys, who do you use for your shopping cart? Guys, what do you think about my tagline? Guys, I just made $10,000.
Yeah.
Guys, what's going on? And what happens is everybody swoops in, and I mean, like, you'll hear, 25, woohoo,
Yeah.
Danielle, you did it.
There'll be like 35 comments. If you've needed something specific, there'll be 6 people that gave you their phone number and told you to call them that moment. Yeah, it's amazing.
What has that been able to help you create? I'm very proud of the results that you're creating right now. Like, astonishing, like dreams come true type of things. Tell us about what you've been able to create.
Quite a few things. One major thing is, along with a fellow CABS member who's
We call it CABS, the Client Attraction Business School. That's
Yes.
like our nickname for it, yeah.
We've, with Anne-Marie Pollock, who has a TV production company, we've been working on a pilot, a sizzle reel for a TV show, Christian and I together.
Which is amazing. I saw it. Amazing. By the way, I'm not to jump in, but you didn't actually have that much clarity about where you were going to go with this Feast on History a year ago, and now it's so clear.
In fact, I had something else entirely going on. Feast on History just came into focus at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So in 3 months, 90 days,
Yeah.
whatever it was since then, yeah, amazing things have happened. I mean, I think a big part of the work that I have done is clarifying, getting a little off track, getting
Yeah.
back
Would
on
you
track.
have been able to get that kind of clarity in such a short period of time on your own?
Nope.
No.
Absolutely
Christian,
not.
why do you shake your head?
No, because
And by the way, Christian is Danielle's spouse, and he's been spending more time with us because you get a lot of value. We'll talk about that in a minute, but
Sure.
why do you think she would not have had the clarity that she has now in such a short period of time?
well, just the mechanics and just the whole structure that you and Derek have put into play in terms of just having the support of this wonderful community of people and having the approach that you guys have to begin with, the transformational sort of anything is possible approach, is what really gave me that sense that she was in the right place at the right time, that this was a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah.
Just having surrounded yourself with the right people and having the mindset that you have to improve on a day-to-day basis
Yeah.
in a positive way is huge. I
Yeah.
mean,
the
being-
training never stops.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
had done some transformational work in the past, and when I recognized a lot of the buzzwords that she was sort of giving back to me, I said, yeah, no, you're in the right place.
Good.
So
Good.
it worked.
Yeah, yeah. So you've gotten clarity. You're working on your sizzle reel. I know from our little interactions on private Facebook chats that some celebrity chef
Yeah, we got
productions are happening. Cross your fingers. Big like names that that Danielle is not in a position to tell you yet.
and that name just got even bigger, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
You're gonna like it.
Oh boy, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian's like, yes.
Well, and it came as a result of something I didn't know how to monetize, which was my writing. I mean, I've been writing about art and about food for years and years, and you get paid like $100 if you're lucky for an article. But
Yeah.
from research I did, and then
Because we told you it was possible, because anything is possible. See, when you're surrounded by people who have a bigger vision of your future, and they also have a money consciousness and a abundance mindset, we can say, no, Danielle, there actually is a way for you to make money at this. Just keep looking. You don't have to be paid what academia pays you, because that's the rule that you have, right? And that was a big thing for you.
yeah, it was, I mean, being able to leave the full-time job, which is probably the biggest outcome of my work with you, has been that I've been able to remove myself from a very limited mindset, and And every once in a while, because I still lecture at the museum, I pop in and I'll talk to some people in the office there, and they'll start kind of saying the same old stuff, and I'm like, I get to go home now.
And tell us about, can we talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us. I mean, I think I would love that. Like, the fact that you've been able to create this is phenomenal, and it's going to be incredibly inspiring for everybody here.
Yeah, I was just interviewed for TED Ed on a couple days ago.
Yay!
I've been lecturing at the museum, and I talk about art in a different way than a lot of people are used to hearing it, and I've been wanting to bring this out into a larger audience. Again, not knowing how, figuring it out, applying the client attraction system, using the resources of the group. And I nominated myself for TED, which was a big mindset thing, because in academia you always have to wait for somebody to open the door to give you the permission. And I went to the website and I said, I can nominate myself.
Yeah, there you go. You wouldn't have done that before.
No.
Never.
No. So now I'm being considered.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so there's somebody out there who has been doing the dance, right? They've been watching today, or they've been watching for months or for years, and who's like this close to saying, you know, I want what she's got. I really want to get clarity. I want steps. I want the mindset. I want the community. I want the coaching on the phone. I want these meetings. I want to be in the vortex. I want to create results. I want to create money. I want to be able to leave my job if that's where. What would you say to them about this decision? Because this is a big decision to make for some people.
Yeah.
It might be their first time investing in themselves.
Yeah, and it was for me. I mean, when I first saw the price tag, I said, I'm going to spend how much on myself?
Mm-hmm.
But relative to all that comes back to you within the community, within the other resources that other people offer you, it's a drop in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing.
What
And
would you say to him or her?
I would say, if you're ready for your life to completely change, then do it.
Yeah. High five. Christian, so a lot of times we're having this conversation, and the spouse, I thought it was really great to bring both of you, because at first you said, who are these people? What's going on?
Right.
And as the spouse, sometimes a spouse is not very supportive, and we're just going to say it. And it's what I've realized is because the spouse isn't here to hear all of these things. A lot of times we learned this at the Mindset Retreat, there's a woman who talks about financial decisions, her business is around financial decisions, and she says that often there is an idealist and a realist in a couple, and it's usually the entrepreneur and the spouse who is really the number cruncher. And so I think it's really great that you're here. When Danielle first told you that she was joining the Client Attraction Business School, what was your thought?
Well, at first I thought it sounded like a bit of a stretch, financially speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It was a number that we had discussed, and I had never spent that much money on myself either.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she framed it, it seemed like it was very, very promising. Just the way that she discussed your system, and just the people that she described were just fantastic. And there was just something in me that said, look, just go with it and give it a shot. I mean, I've spent more money on, a year's worth of vacations or getaways. So
This is the cost of one vacation for many people.
exactly. And honestly, she's smarter than I am. So I tend to think if she has an instinct to do something, it's usually right. I mean, am I right, fellas? I mean, usually.
Derek is smiling.
So I took it, and Danielle is not frivolous. She doesn't have a frivolous bone in her body, God bless her. So if she wanted to do something, I was going to stand behind her. And I figured $4,000 was not going to kill us in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. And when she came back and she just talked about the way you just sort of take all of your students under your wing, and you really care about everybody that you deal with.
I do. I didn't tell them that, but I do. It's one of the things that Derek says is one of my unique abilities, is that I have the ability to care for every single, and love. I know it sounds crazy. It is a business school, though, I promise you. And just really love everybody.
Yeah. And when I looked at the material, I said, this is stuff that, business, you will learn in business school. And we went to your Monetize Your Message retreat. I just thought, my goodness, we're getting graduate school level education
Yeah.
and practices that, you can apply the very first day that you learn them. You don't have to sit there and sort of wait. You're not waiting for Godot in this
Yeah.
system. You're implementing right away.
Right away.
And by implementing what she learned, I made more money.
Yeah.
So I got out into my own business. I was hating on my job, and I sort of did it through osmosis. So
That is exactly the question I was gonna ask you next, Christian, is as a spouse, you get like that little osmosis. What's it done for your life and your business? What's it done for your marriage? Anything.
wow, I mean, it's changed the game. It's been a game breaker. If I can apply a sports metaphor for the fellas, it's like that game breaking touchdown throw that just changes and swings the momentum in your favor. I was waiting on something like that, and I didn't even realize I was. By applying just 2 or 3 of the principles daily, I was able to open my business. We feel like we communicate in a much more clear and honest way. There's literally 0 resentment when we hit the pillow at night. And we feel like we're striving towards something together. I mean, that's the goal of every marriage, I think, is
Yeah.
to feel like you're striving for something together.
Yeah.
And he's in the community too. I mean, we have barbecues and,
The people have been fantastic.
Mark comes over for dinner all the time.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we share the
He's a
circle of
fixture
friends.
at our home.
Yeah.
Whenever we have anything, people show up. It's like your family just multiplied.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was when I was sharing with them this presentation. I was saying it's not like you ditch your friends and family. It's that you just add new ones to the mix, new people to listen to, new people with an abundance mindset. Because frankly speaking, there are a lot of people out there who are surrounded by negativity and skepticism and worry and doubt and fear. And honestly, if you know anything about the law of attraction, the metaphysics, manifestation, just walking in everyday life, that stuff brings you down. But when you're surrounded with people who have all, I don't want to say drunk the Kool-Aid, but who've all drunk the green smoothie,
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
And we did eliminate negative people as a
We did.
result
Did
of
you?
this.
Yeah.
We did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That
How's
was
that feel?
that was
Changes everything.
the
Yeah.
biggest
Everything.
thing. That was the biggest
For
gift
you.
that I got.
Yeah.
Was I was able to eliminate 2 or 3 negative pieces of my life, and I am a completely different person in a year's time.
That's it.
And it was the contrast. You see somebody that you met at your, business school with your coach who's supporting you, who's known you for 3 months, and who supports you more than people who have known you your entire
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So you go, okay,
Okay.
who's got to go here?
Yeah. Christian, what would be your advice to somebody who's thinking about joining us?
Absolutely do it. People are always waiting and waiting and waiting for the right time to then invest. It's first I'll wait and then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old. I didn't have time to wait. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have known about this when I was 22 years old. I can't imagine what my life would look like now. Do it for yourself. Do it for your spouse. It'll make your life better. Just having this one little seed anywhere in the garden of your life will make your life exponentially better. You will be a better person in your relationships. You'll be a better person in your business. And you'll then be able to have that ripple effect that you talk about.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to affect other people around you that really need it. You'll be a better person in this world, and the world gets better because of it. I know I'm going a little over the top here, but I'm very
No, I mean, that's because
emotional about this.
Yeah, and so am I. And you've heard me get emotional about this before. Even just hearing you say like your job, like you just couldn't do it anymore. That really brought up something for me because, I believe in the capacity and the potential for every single person on this earth to create something really great. And you heard me say it at Mindset. The apple tree does not make oranges. The apple does not fall far from the tree. And the universe, God, whatever you call it, made you and brought you here to do something great. And if you don't know what you don't know about taking it to that next level, then do what it takes to find out. And if this Client Attraction Business School speaks to you, then join us. If it's something else, then join that. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you step in to your purpose, you step into your potential, and you turn up the volume and you play bigger. And I think that you guys really inspired I just want to share with you that you've just being here, you've changed somebody's life. There are people right now who probably have tears in their eyes and who are actually considering playing a much bigger game. And I just want to really congratulate you, and especially congratulate you on all the results that you've gotten so far. And the best is yet to come for both of you. And so thank you so very much for sharing this. And I hope you'll stay just for a few more minutes sitting in my office. Don't go unless you have to, because I want to give you another hug. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Danielle. Yay! So I hope you were inspired, because this is just one of the hundreds of stories. What do I do? Should I sit back on the white?
You can sit on that.
I'll sit on the red. I'm going to sit on the red. Can they see this?
I'm gonna move it.
You're going to move it? Okay. Move it some more, Joe?
That's good.
Okay, good. So, so Derek, I'm happy to, you
Sure.
know, and where can they say, I want to say something about, no, you're going to talk about the spouse, right?
Yeah.
In a few minutes. Do we have questions?
Yeah,
Can
we
I?
have a few.
Okay, great.
We have a lot, but with some good sample questions. So Beatrice says that she's been attending a lot of your events. She's been to Get More Clients,
Great.
Monetize Your Message, Mindset Retreat.
Good job, Beatrice.
I'd love to join the business school, but I still haven't found time to implement the great stuff I learned so far, and I got great ideas on what to do next, but I'm too busy. So my question is, how can the business school help me? Things are already moving fast, and I'm having a hard time to keep up with everything.
Okay, so people ask me that question all the time. Did they hear that question? Did everybody hear it through the microphone?
They should have.
Okay,
Yeah.
they should have, and if not, I'll rephrase it. But basically, Beatrice is saying, I've got a lot of stuff already in my life that I need to implement, and how do I make time for the Client Attraction Business School? Well, number one, there's a whole focus in the curriculum about making time for this. So where you already carve out time. And you may have learned many things from me. The beautiful thing about the Client Attraction Business School curriculum is that it says, you can put a pause on everything else. First, do this, then do this, then do this. And every single module is built upon the last, so that it's basically, here's what you do. In fact, we had did they watch the success panel? You watched the success panel. I think, and if not, is it on this page somewhere? Mm-hmm. Great. So if you watch that, if you haven't watched the success panel yet, you'll hear 2 or 3 different people saying, basically, what Fabienne tells me to do, I do. And I do it in the order that she tells me to. So what I would say to you, Beatrice, is 2 things. One, in the Client Attraction Business School, you are encouraged and invited and giving the tools to actually carve time out in your day to make time to implement. So that's number 1. And number 2, you're shown exactly what to do and in what order to do it in. So you can actually put a pause button on a lot of the other things that you're doing. So it's like a no-brainer. You could just actually relax and say, cool, I'm doing this now. Okay, great, I'm doing that next. And that's how you get results. So it's actually, you're putting blinders on, and you just get handed everything. It's like your implementation checklist. That's my answer.
Great. Can you just clarify, because there's a few people that are curious, when you have the different Startup Sally, Leverage Lucy,
Ramp Up Rachel,
the
yep.
dollar figures that you refer to, are those income or revenue?
Okay, so most people who have their own business look at, the way we look at it is like, what do you make in your business? It's not necessarily what you take home, what you pay yourself. It's what is your business making? And so we look at, if you are a florist, a massage therapist, a coach, a consultant, a financial planner, fee-only financial planner. It's what is your business making? Because what I've realized over the years, and is that, it started with my own business. When I was making up to 75 or 100,000, I had a certain type of problem, right? And then when my business started making more than 75 or 100,000, I started having a different series of issues, challenges, and problems. And so it's not what you take home, like personal, like that you put in your personal bank account. It's what your business makes. That's how we judge. But listen, if there's a case which is a little bit different, just send an email to info@clientattraction.com and we'll help you figure it out. we want you to be in the right track. There are many people who say, oh, I want to be in the leverage track, and they haven't really gotten their business up and running. And listen, I'd love to take the money, but it's not about that. We put a very, very specific emphasis and focus on putting the people in the right track, because there are some people who have landed in the wrong track, and what happens is they become overwhelmed because the curriculum is not with what they need. So we always say, no, start with where you are right now. And I just want you to know, as soon as you qualify for the next level, let's say you join in the growth track and 6 months later, you're like, I've grown my business so fast, I'm at complete leverage state, we bump you up, right? That's how it works. And it's happened many times before. Lucy, who's on the Success Panel video that's probably on this page, you can hear her. She moved 3 levels in a period of a year and a half. So that's possible for you too.
Great. And this is a great question, because I think a lot of people, or some people may be thinking about it. So Kate asked, she actually was at the Mindset Retreat just last week.
Great. Hi, Kate.
She's saying, I just need to earn the funds to afford it, smiley face. I just did the Mindset Retreat, so I have some support in place now. But for somebody who's looking for ways to come up with the money in order to afford the investment so that they can make the return on investment, what kind of recommendations or tools could you recommend to them to join?
Yeah, so there are a few things that you can do if you want to afford this. These are some of the things that I teach at the Mindset Retreat. So I'll give you 2 or 3 different things. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice, but girlfriend to girlfriend, I'll tell you what I've done in the past and what I teach my students to do when it comes to finding ways to afford. The number one thing is that I have an assignment that I give folks. Derek, should we give them that assignment like here?
Sure.
Yeah. I would like to, why don't we post the 50 ways list on this page? My gift to you, this is something that we teach in our workshops and with our clients. So I'm allowing you in already to some of the curriculum that we do now. Basically, I ask you to, and it'll be available on this page at some time today, I ask you to print the sheet of paper that's called 50 ways to afford anything that you want. And basically, you just start writing. It's basically money that's already in your life right now in the form of an opportunity. See, most people, when they want to afford something, they wait for the money to land on their lap before they go do something. The way the universe works is you actually have to ask for the money, but it doesn't come to you in the form of a check in your mailbox. It comes to you in the form of an opportunity that is given to you. So the opportunity would look like a client that has expressed interest in working with you, but you haven't closed that client yet. You add that to the 50 ways list. Perhaps it's that, back in the day when I was in my business, my first business, my health coaching business, and I didn't have the money. I did because I didn't have the right instruction on how to get clients. And so I held some cooking, getting started in the kitchen cooking classes in my living room on my Coleman grill. And for I think $35 per person, I would teach them how to make roast chicken and, sauteed leeks and something else, right? There are ways. You have talents, you have skills, you have abilities. There are opportunities for you to make money in your life right now. Perhaps it's, a joint venture partner who's reached out to you and wants to do a talk with you. Perhaps it's a seminar that you've been wanting to give but you haven't. Or perhaps there's been this networking group that you wanted to join but you've procrastinated on that. There are ways for you to make more money in your life right now. It's just about taking action on them. So the assignment is to write down 50 different ways for you to bring in anywhere from $20 to $20,000 in your life right now. And here's the assignment that I give. You will start writing at some point, maybe around 8, 16, 26, you'll actually run out of things to say. And you might think, this assignment doesn't work for me, Fabienne. But actually it does, because it goes beyond you. So you're going to start writing out all these things and basically run out of ideas. And I ask you to stay with it. stay with it, because there's a point at which if you stay with it and just keep asking, what are the opportunities that are already in my life for me to afford this program or anything that I want to afford, you'll start getting downloads, divine downloads and ideas. Even if you're not, you've never heard this before, just know that it happens. It's one of the universal principles of asking for divine guidance, and it is always given. Ask and ye shall receive. Now, you can ask for the money, and you can also ask for the opportunities for the money. So fill it out, all 50 ways, and then start taking action on the ones that make the most sense. And it's not about selling your house, or it's not about, selling your watch or whatever. It's about opportunities for making new money. Now, every time that Derek and I are looking to afford something that's not necessarily something we thought we could afford, we always use this list. And there's I think I posted this on Facebook 2 days ago. One of the brand new students of the Client Attraction Business School used his 50 ways list, and in 7 days just made $10,000 in 7 days. It's not unbelievable. That's how it works. So you have to action that. Now, another thing that I've done in my life is that I've actually I've gone to Google, and again, I'm not advising you to do this. This is not what I coach on, but I'm telling you what I've done in the past when I wanted to afford something that I knew I would get great results from, and it would not be a cost but an investment, and that I would get my return on investment very quickly, is that I went to Google and I typed 0% credit card offer. And was a very easy way for me several times in my career to say, okay, so, you type that in, and within minutes you get pre-approved for a 0% credit card.
We're off.
Back up? Okay. Oh, we're having fun. So what I was saying is, when I was looking to afford programs or things that I knew I would get a return on investment on, but the cash wasn't available right away, I would go to Google and type in 0% credit card offer, 0% APR credit card offer, and immediately there's just a whole bunch right there. I don't know if you knew that, but it's, depending on your credit, of course. But even with my okay credit back then, I was able to get something that allowed me to have 12 months or sometimes 18 months to be able to put the investment on the card and know that I had 12 months. Of course, you make the payments, but you have 12 months without any interest. And because I used this type of process to invest in my business and myself, and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to apply everything that I've learned. That's how I was able to get the results, and then pay off. I always paid off that 0% credit card in full way before the 12 months were up, within 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So that is a way to get, if you will, free money to pay for this. Another way, some people pull it out of their 401k knowing that they're going to put it back in afterwards. Some people pull it out. I've done this in the past. If you have a whole life, Derek? Whole life insurance, right? Is that what you call it? Yeah. You can just borrow the money, put it back. There's so many different ways that there's Aunt Edna. You can appeal to her and say, here's the deal. Here's the Client Attraction Business School. You show them the videos. You show your aunt, your parents, your sister, whoever, and you say, you have my word, I'm going to implement, and I will give you back this money in full by this time, or in full with interest, which I've done in the past too. So those are some of the ways that you can afford it very quickly.
Can you briefly answer a question a few people are asking about? How much do the best practices in the curriculum and what you teach apply to non-English speaking markets? Some people live in France, Germany, Spain, Russia, Mexico. They're asking. There are other students that are in the business school, so it obviously is applicable, but can you comment on that?
Yeah, we have students from all over the world. I mean, Derek, help me figure out, we have students from Australia, we have students from Mexico, we have students from Brazil,
Germany,
France,
Germany,
Germany,
Spain,
Spain, the Netherlands. The curriculum, the way I like to look at it is marketing is marketing is marketing. Whether you are here in the United States or you're from, a French-speaking part of Quebec, Canada, or you're all over the globe, in essence, the client attraction principles that we talk about are things that apply everywhere and to every industry. And it's because in the end, marketing is marketing is marketing. It is about really looking at who your ideal client is, what is the message that's going to get them to say yes, how do you package your programs and your services, how do you get out there in a big way, how do you close the sale. It all applies no matter what industry, no matter what type of person, no matter what country you're from.
And they can also live stream the meetings.
And you can live stream the meetings, which we mentioned for the growth track, which we mentioned a few minutes ago. So that, we have clients in Singapore, really all over the world, and you just watch the meetings and participate in that way, and you feel like you are, a part of something that's really big. We have some clients who say, that live in Australia and New Zealand, who say, we don't have people like you or a curriculum like this in my country. And it's really motivating. It's really transformative for them to be part of the Client Attraction Business School halfway across the globe.
And then can you also, a few people are asking, again, you can answer this briefly.
Yeah.
How can what you teach help a non-information product business or somebody who's not a coach? Or
I get asked that question all the time. I think
people are saying I'm a photographer,
Yeah.
or I do something that's not coaching. For example, Christian and Danielle.
Yeah, Christian and Danielle are not coaches. She speaks on food and history. He's a sommelier. We have florists, we have massage therapists, we have financial planners, we have people who do marketing sequences, people who do branding done for you. We have everything. And so I often get asked, but Fabienne, what if I'm not a coach? I happen to attract a lot of coaches for several reasons. One, because I am a coach, and I'm one, if you want to call it that. I started off as a coach, and I am one of the most successful coaches, if you want to call me that, even though this is the Client Attraction Business School, in the world. So naturally, people who do what I do, who are not yet at this level, they look up, they see me, they say, I want to work with her. I also attract a lot of coaches and consultants because I do joint ventures and strategic alliances for coach training, with coach training companies. But I work the curriculum for the growth track. Getting more clients, making more money, multiplying your business, getting out there in a big way applies to every industry that is service-based. We even have some students of the Client Attraction Business School who have a product-based business. And then the leverage track, if you're interested in that track, it's all about team, system, technology, automation. It's about scalable business models. And we have everybody, what's that? Back up. So we have people from all sorts of industries, and it's all about the curriculum. It's like universal. So it doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're in this country and not this country, and if you're in this industry or another one. It doesn't matter. It's proven. It's universal. It works for all service-based businesses.
Great. So here's the big enchilada question.
The big enchilada question? All right, let me take a sip of water.
And why don't you tell them, so what we're going to do is, because we've had so many issues with the internet.
Yeah.
We're
off. Just went off.
Sorry, it's all.
It's back on?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, just so you know, this has never happened to us before like this. So what we're gonna do is, because it's kind of frustrating to watch it like this, but I just really applaud your persistence and your patience and your support and your love. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna provide this as a recording and cut out all the parts that cut out so that you could watch it all at once. What was the big enchilada question, Derek?
Okay, so the big enchilada questions is what happens, and Christian talked about this a little bit.
Yes.
You can expand on it. What happens when the person closest to you, your spouse, has a poverty mindset? How do you overcome that?
Okay, So poverty mindset of the spouse is something that comes up a lot, and we've taken care of that for you. A lot of times the spouse says, who is this person, and why do you want to invest this? And our answer is one, well, you can go to traditional business school and pay $40,000 a year, and somehow they understand that would be that. So this is an alternative type of business school. But we've created a video for your spouse to watch with your spouse. It's at clientattractionspouse.com. I'm going to say that again, clientattractionspouse.com. Okay, we're back. It's like a comedy of errors. I love it. Right? You got to stay positive through life. So, if your spouse is someone who has a poverty mindset, I want you to take them to clientattractionspouse.com. It's a video that Derek and I created to really show your spouse how massively important it is that you feel supported by your spouse. Because if there's a way that your spouse doesn't support you, it really kind of chips away very, very quickly at your confidence. And again, as we mentioned, your confidence is everything. And I'm sure that you support your spouse. And in a decision like this, that can be a life-transforming, business-changing decision, you need all the support you can. So your spouse probably doesn't know who we are, doesn't understand the business school. This is why you take them through the brochure. You print it out and you take them through it. You take them through the FAQ. You show them what's covered in the curriculum. They need to see like, oh, this isn't just some fly-by-night thing. This person is on the Inc. List of America's fastest growing companies 3 years in a row. They are featured all over the media. Take them to clientattraction.com. Take your spouse to our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and put in Fabienne Fredrickson channel. Show your spouse all the videos of me, of Derek, because what I may not have mentioned throughout this is you're not just getting one expert, you're getting Derek as well, who teaches about list building, online marketing, internet marketing, sequences, team, systems, technology, automation. That's all in here for you to read. But have your spouse look at the hundreds and hundreds of video success stories on the website. And even if your spouse at one point says, I just can't do this, sometimes you can say, this is my business. I'm doing this for me, and I would like your support. Now, I can't tell you how to be with your spouse, but I know that, when I came back and I said, the first time I invested in myself in a really big way, I said, Derek, I'm doing this. And with my confidence and my conviction and my sharing with him, when I said, you've seen me, I've implemented in the past, I'm going to implement again, I'm going to get results, watch me. And then you got it, your spouse wants to see the proof in the pudding. You implement and you show your spouse that you are worth investing in. But start with going to clientattractionspouse.com and watch the video together and just show them like, this is what we're gonna get, and this is, and here are the, and really like involve the spouse. And by the way, one thing we didn't tell you is that for a small administrative fee, just one time for your entire year, your spouse gets to come with you to all the meetings. They get to like be there with you. And that's when I involved Derek. The first time I took him to a meeting such as this, a marketing, gathering, retreat, that's when he really got on board. Like he finally understood what I was doing, even though we'd already been married for how many years, Derek? Like 7 years? Yeah. He didn't know about my business, even though, I'd been in it for 8, 9 years. Bring your spouse with you. Believe me, we'll very easily work on their poverty mindset.
Great. Those are the questions.
Those are the questions. Okay, so what I want to say to you is if this speaks to you, download the application, fill it out, and send it in. I really like to see who's the first because that shows me.
Fill it out online.
Oh, you have an option to fill it out online? Even better. Send that in. Make sure that it's complete so we can really help you figure out which track is the right one for you. And I want to share something with you. My great friend John Assaraf, you might know him from the movie The Secret. he said something that I've shared for many years, attributing it to him, of course. He says, when you're interested, you do what's convenient. Write this down. When you're interested, you do what's convenient. When you're committed, you do whatever it takes. When you're committed, you do whatever it takes. And so I want to ask you, are you interested in being an advancing entrepreneur who wants great results, who wants to get more clients, make more money, and really create a ripple effect in the world with your potential and your capability? Or are you committed to being an entrepreneur who is advancing and who creates results that astound others around you? And it's a choice, and you have free will. But I will say this to you, you create, no one else. You create your reality. You create your life. You create your income with every action you take or with every inaction you take. I hope you'll choose to take action and join us in the Client Attraction Business School. We're waiting for you. We're ready for you. We're here to champion you. We're here to give you the best practices, step-by-step guidance, the coaching, the accountability, the love, the support, the community that you've been looking for all your life. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.